President John Mahama is asking Chinese industries to partner with Ghanaian businesses to process raw materials for export back to the Chinese market. In an interview with the China Global Television Network, he praised China for its role in Africa's infrastructural development, including major projects in Ghana.
The zero tariff policy is now kicking in. And so I believe that it will create a conducive atmosphere for us to grow that trade even more. We're looking on the Ghanaian side for Chinese industries to come and help us add value to the products that we have so that we can export back into the Chinese market. Apart from that, there's the important issue of harmonization of standards. China has about 40 standards. And so we need to harmonize our standards with the Chinese standards.
The president also emphasized that such partnerships have enabled African countries to invest in important infrastructure and advance their development goals.
China has been a true friend of Africa. And I believe that under the Belt and Road Initiative and under FOCAC, major infrastructural projects that are transformative have occurred in many African countries. I can speak for Ghana. We discovered huge quantities of gas offshore, and we decided that we wanted to use that gas for power. But you need to process that gas before you can generate power in a thermal plant. And so China invested almost $1 billion to set up our first gas processing plants at a place called Echiabo in Ghana. Up to today, it produces the bigger parts of gas to fire our power production in Ghana. And so that is a symbol of the cooperation between China and Ghana. We have our second largest hydroelectric power dam at a place called Bui. Yeah, that also was a power plant that was built by China. Everywhere you look, you can find the footprints of China. Accra is our capital and the biggest city. 40 million gallons of the water, clean drinking water, that is treated and pumped to Accra every day as a result of a facility that was provided by China to expand the Kpong water treatment plant. And so, yes, China has been a partner when it comes to infrastructure development. I cannot talk about the roads. As for roads and bridges, there are so many of them. Yeah, and stadiums, markets. I would say that China has been pivotal in Africa's infrastructural development. In other places, they build railways that interconnect cities.
Well, in the interview, which covered a wide range of issues, including slavery and colonialism, he reiterated that Ghana will next year move a motion at the United Nations General Assembly asking the world to recognize slave trade as the greatest crime against humanity.
Suffered two serious crimes against humanity. The first was the slave trade, and I believe that that was the greatest crime against humanity, where between 12 and 15 million Africans were taken from Africa to the Caribbean and the Americas and Europe. And their labor was used to build what today is modern Western civilization. This labor was unpaid labor. They were not remunerated for the work they did in the sugarcane fields, in building the railways, in building the roads, the bridges, and all that. We believe that first and foremost, it should be recognized as the greatest crime against humanity. And we must condemn the activity of slavery. That's the first step is for us to accept. And so Ghana wants to move a motion in the UN next year asking the world to recognize the slave trade as the greatest crime against humanity. With regards to colonialism, the Berlin Conference partitioned Africa, and the European nations took colonies in Africa, ran those colonies, exploited the natural resources, and transferred those natural resources, oil palm, gold, minerals, cocoa, and other products, to develop their countries. And it's only from the late 50s that countries like Ghana got independent. And so that was an injustice. Colonialism was an injustice against African countries.